Hi, and welcome to this episode of John's Model Kit Review. In this episode, we are looking at Tamiya's classic 1/48 scale Messerschmitt BF 109E 4-7 Tropical. And this is Tamiya kit number 61063. In this review, we'll look at the built-up kit. We'll also take a look at the instructions in the kit. We'll take a look at the painting and marking guides. We'll also look at the clear parts on the kit. We'll look at the surface detailing and some of the parts detailing as well. In addition, we'll take a look at some of the extras that I used on this kit, including the True Details wheels and the True Details cockpit seat. I built this kit concurrently with Airfix's BF 109E and Eduard's BF 109E, so I will also be referencing those kits as well. In this review, I'm going to attempt to answer the question, with all of the BF 109E kits currently available, is this classic Tamiya kit still worth building? This kit came out in the late 90s, and it really had a good reputation for being very buildable, meaning it just went together well. It had a low parts count and reasonable detail, and it really got good reviews as far as the kit itself goes. Anybody who has attempted to paint one of the modeled aircraft, and that's an aircraft with the kind of soft edge spots on it like this aircraft has, knows that that can be a real challenge. Another thing I'm going to be talking about in this review is my technique for doing the models on this plane, and I did something a little bit different. I know that they look like they're sprayed on. I actually used pastels applied with a closely cropped paintbrush to do the modeling. And I like the way that it turned out. You can certainly make up your decision if that's something that you want to try. I already knew the paint was going to be a challenge and the finish on the kit was going to be a challenge, and so it was nice to not have a dual challenge of a difficult kit in addition to a difficult to paint kit. Taking a look at the instructions, step one is building the instrument panel. It also covers the seat, and there's a pilot figure there, and kind of the interior where the seat goes. As I said before, I opted to use a True Details seat. It's a resin seat with the seat belts molded in. It is a beautiful piece. It requires a little bit more precise detail painting, but it really turned out nice, and I like the way that it dressed up the cockpit. I've also got a picture of the instrument panel, and that just took some detail painting, but it looks good. The clear part on this kit, you can see through clearly to see the seat. You can also see clearly to see the instrument panel, and it really did come out nicely. Step two covers some sidewall detail. It covers the engine exhaust. It also covers assembling the fuselage. There's no tricky parts here. As I said earlier, the clear parts are very clear, so you can see the sidewall detail that is there. And on this kit, because the clear parts are so good, they're so transparent and thin, take your time on the interior, do it right, just because it's going to be so visible on the finished kit. Step three covers assembling the wings. The wings fit together very nicely. I did not have any gaps at the wing roots. You can see the wing root fit here. It looks very nice. Step four is the oil cooler underneath the nose. It's also the flaps and assembling those. And as you can see, the flaps went on great. The oil cooler went on great. The parts breakdown here is very nice, and I much prefer this parts breakdown to the Eduard kit, which is just very, very difficult to do. Step 5 covers mounting the wings. It also covers the nose guns and the upper engine cover. It also covers the tail planes and the rudder. And I've got a couple of pictures here that just show the fit on everything. And again, there were just no complications, no issues. With just a little bit of dry fitting, everything turned out really nice. The tail planes turned out nice. There was no filler needed on these parts. Step 6 just covers attaching the flaps. It also covers attaching the slats in the front of the wings. You can see here, everything looks good. It came out nicely. Step 7 covers the belly tank and landing gear assembly. On this kit, because I was doing an aircraft with the white wall wheels, I had to get the True Details wheels. The nice thing is they have a very nice demarcation line between the white walls and the rest of the tread on the tires, and so it made painting these much, much easier. This was one of the most difficult parts of the kit, painting the white sidewalls on the main wheels and the tail wheel. Step 8 covers the radiators and a couple of other small bits. It covers the tail wheel as well. And we'll take a look here. You can see here there's no fit issues with the radiators. The tail wheel also looks nice. And again, it was challenging to get that white wall painted on there. The second part of step 8 just covers installing the landing gear and installing the belly tank. The landing gear is set up nicely. It should not give you much trouble. It's keyed. It has a correct angle for the landing gear. And so if you just take your time, follow the instructions, it's going to turn out well. Step 9 covers the assembly of the prop. And as you can see here, there's some nice detail around the prop hub, and the prop assembled very nicely and easily. Step 10 covers installing the pilot headrest armor into the cockpit clear section. And step 11 just covers the final small bits that go on the plane. It covers the air intake, and there's 2 options there. It also covers the canopy and the antenna, the gun, and the prop. You can see everything just built nicely. There's no fit issues on this kit, and it turned out really nice. The kit comes with a comprehensive stenciling guide. This diagram really takes the guesswork out of things. And in the marking options, there are 3 marking options. The first one is an aircraft from 7JG26. And it's got 2 black and white side views. It's also got a top and a bottom view of that plane. The next one is an aircraft from JG2, and it has black and white side views. It also has a nice color side view of this aircraft, and it has upper and lower views as well. The next plane is a plane I chose to model. It has a nice black and white profile of each side, and then it also has a 3-view color diagram on the side of the box. The decals themselves were a bit on the thick side, but as you can see in this photo, both the stencils and the kit markings went down without silvering. Where they ran over across panel lines, I had to cut the decals with a razor blade once everything was almost dry, and then just continue with the setting solution until they settled down into the panel lines. As I said earlier, the modeling pattern on the top of the plane, and that's the spots on there, that was done with artist pastels. And so I had good success with that. It's a lot less smelly, it's a lot less frustrating than it is trying to do these with an airbrush. I like these results just as well. It's just a different option for doing the pattern, and it does give you a nice soft edge. You can see these look like they were sprayed on. In conclusion, is this Tamiya kit still worth building? It's a classic kit. There are newer BF109 kits out there. There are kits out there with better surface detailing than this kit. I built this kit at the same time I was building Airfix's BF109E and Eduard's BF109E. And I have to say, of those 3 kits, this is the most easily buildable kit. It also has crisper detailing on it than the Airfix kit does. The Airfix kit is a little bit soft on details, but this kit really lacks the petite surface detailing of the Eduard kit. The clear parts on this kit are excellent. And the decals are okay. They're not bad, they're just on the thick side. This kit is easy enough that a beginner could assemble it very quickly, very easily. It's not going to give them any surprises. As long as they follow the instructions, it's going to look nice. The only real challenge on the BF109 kits, BF109 paint schemes are notoriously challenging. Whether it's the modeled scheme or not, there's quite a few colors on the airframes, and they just present a challenge to paint. And the fact that it was easy to build up and get to the painting stage really kind of alleviated some of the frustration that came with just trying to figure out how to do this paint scheme. And I'm happy with the way this kit turned out. I also really enjoyed using the True Details wheels and the seat, and they really dress up this model, and I give them 2 thumbs up. Well, I'd love to know what you guys think. If any of you have built the Tamiya 148 scale BF109E previously, and want to share your comments in the comments section below, please feel free to do so. As always, I hope you found this video entertaining and informative, and until next time, model on.